Welcome back to this already the final segment of today's Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. We want to mention today's program has been brought to you by some really great companies that we are really grateful for. They always make a huge difference. Today, Tropical Smoothie Cafe and Cornerstone Business Academy. We're delighted to have them as part of this program. WealthX is an interesting company I recently stumbled upon and wanted to share their story. Very, very interesting what you guys do, and I think letting the main person from that, Mykolas Rambus, to talk about it makes perfect sense. How are you today, Mykolas?
Very well. Thanks for having me on.
Why don't you start off with your elevator pitch, if you will?
Sure. So I'll give you the basics. WealthX is an organization that helps people, whoever they may be, understand wealth. How is it created? How is it maintained? How not to lose it over time? And mostly helps financial services institutions, luxury brands, and not-for-profit better understand and engage with very wealthy people.
Okay. And talk a little bit about the how you do that. How do you engage with them?
Sure. Well, it comes down to information. In this day and age, there's a tremendous amount of information that's available in the public domain, and we at WealthX are very good at finding that information and analyzing it and bringing it together in one place. LinkedIn's a great tool. It's fabulous to have that, but the reality is the wealthy aren't on LinkedIn. So if you're a banker, you're heading into a meeting with a prospective client, or you're going to that golf game, and you'd like to know a bit more about who you're going to be playing with, there really isn't a resource. And so we have a tremendous number of very skilled analysts and researchers who are pulling all this information together, doing the analysis, financial and otherwise, and saying to a client of ours, here's what you need to read to go into that discussion prepared.
Yeah, by the way, you've been on the show before, and I love this kind of stuff. These people are hard to get access to, and if your clientele is in the high end, good luck with that, unless you've got resources like this. So, is it almost like it sounds like you're a membership site for financial institutions, nonprofits, that type of thing?
We've been called the Bloomburg of private wealth, something like that, I suppose. But no, we have just a stable of clients who typically are subscribing to our online tools and getting access, so they have this console with them, whether it's on their mobile device or on their computer, as they go about their business.
Give me an idea of what the investment is for people to be able to access these tools.
Well, it's frankly a range. There are organizations who work with us who invest a large portion every year, people who are selling, for example, private jets, multi-million-dollar homes, and then there are individual financial advisors who work with us, and they may be spending several hundred to maybe $1,000 a month. There's a wide range of ways to work with WealthX.
Okay. And kind of break down the type of information you can provide.
People turn to us because they want to get a very good idea of what someone's net worth and liquidity are. It's easy to have a conversation if you are, let's say, a private wealth manager, but someone's not liquid. They don't necessarily have cash in hand to invest. Do you want to still have that meeting? How much time will you invest? We provide information on net worth and liquidity. We also help connect the dots. There are always situations where we say, gosh, I didn't know you knew this person, or didn't realize that, for example, we work on the same nonprofit organization, perhaps at different years. Someone once said, we help create coincidences, and so it's getting that information together on social connections that helps our clients as well.
Very interesting. And by the way, if you go to wealthx.com, you can get a great breakdown of who are the people that you have as clients. And obviously, this is just a selection of some of them, but these are pretty big names, and they're all across the board, from major universities like Johns Hopkins to major financial institutions like Barclays, and so much more. Pretty impressive group.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how old is your company? And kind of give us a little bit of an idea of how it grew.
Well, we're almost 6 years old now, and we've grown from the very early days. In fact, we're one of those startup stories where we began the organization as 3 guys, 2 clients, and a couch, and have grown up ever since. We started with those first clients who we're very appreciative of course, and over time, especially as I think the economy globally has been recovering, have helped these organizations do more business. People come to us fundamentally because they're looking to grow what they're already doing, and we help accelerate the success of their business.
Okay. Talk a little bit about, first of all, where are you guys geographically located?
We're global. So we are in New York, London, Singapore, Hong Kong, pretty much every major financial center, Middle East as well. We have operations, and now serving the over 400 clients that you mentioned a few of, we're really where our clients are.
Interesting. So how was 2015, and what does 2016 look like?
Well, for us, it was a very good year, and I think for our clients, it was a good but challenging year. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of volatility out there. The geopolitical environment is of concern, and so for wealthy individuals as well, when they think about buying that fourth, let's say, home, they think about investing and where to put their money in 2016, there are a lot of questions and concerns there. And I think the Great Recession caused some concern for individuals as to who they trust and how they place their money. The relationship, that trust factor, is ever more important between the service provider and the very wealthy individual who's receiving the service. And so for us, it was a great year because people further understood that they needed to have the information, the intelligence to personalize or customize the offering and their conversations to make sure that what they're putting forth is resonating with that very wealthy consumer.
You mentioned offices in many cities. How many? What cities are you in the United States specifically?
So our office for U.S. is in New York. We travel all the time, but that's our hub for the United States. That said, we have clients in nearly every U.S. state.
Yeah, very good. Talk a little bit about, what your thoughts are for 2016. What kind of strategies are you doing to both grow and to help your clients grow?
Well, a lot of questions have arisen on the global stage. It used to be for many of our clients, whether it's a big bank or a luxury brand, that yes, U.S. is a critical market, so is Europe, but China was where the growth really was. And of course, there's been a lot of economic shocks in that part of the world, and a lot of brands are refocusing their efforts on what's happening here at home in the U.S. They are trying to figure out, for example, how do they attract this new generation of very wealthy digitalati in Silicon Valley to their brands, right? How do they buy their cars? How do they buy financial services? How do we figure out that market? So we're helping a lot of people better understand the American consumer in different geographies, big focus for us, as well as furthering this idea, right, of being able to use information successfully in business. One of my favorite movies is a movie called Moneyball. Have you ever seen
love that movie, yeah.
It's about basically a fundamental change in how baseball was and is played today, and we see that happening in many companies. Companies have picked up on that same message.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Moneyball, and of course, I live in Houston, Texas, which Astros now are probably the most purist at the applying of the Moneyball principles, and doing that. In the last 2 years, they went from worst to first, rather quickly. It was among the first, rather quickly. It's an amazing concept. I'm a huge fan. So that's awesome. Final thoughts before we wrap it up.
Thank you.
Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Well, it's funny. I always love to talk about wealth and lessons and the rest. And gosh, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the what's happening in Powerball. But there's so many great lessons out there for people who are accumulating and maintaining wealth. All I could suggest is that people really focus, and this year, especially in 2016, be careful of where you're putting your money.
Yeah. Sounds like very good advice. Do want to encourage people, check out the website, wealthx.com. It is a wealth of information there. Had to say that. Make sure you check that out, wealthx.com. Mykolas Rambus, thanks so much for being with us again. We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're going to have more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. Have a great rest of your day. Spend it wisely on this station.